Welcome to our ninth episode of Navigating North. Ninth episode now. We started almost 3-4 months ago, and we're gradually picking it up. I cannot wait when I can say welcome to our 100th episode. But it will take a little bit of a while, but it's going there. Today's topic is start our college with January. So start with us with January. And we'll be discussing information about our January start programs. Also, we'll be talking about second career opportunities. We have Janelle Berthume, our Employment Services Coordinator, and Julie Labbe, our Admissions Officer. Again, just to remind you, there will be no video or audio option for the viewers for this webinar due to hosting purposes. But if you have any suggestions, any ideas, any questions, you can always type it in the chat box below. If you select panelist, it will come to us. But if you select for all, it will come for everybody. So you can share your ideas that way too. In order to avoid repetition, Kara will be sorting out all the questions that will be coming in today. And we will, as usual, always try to answer as much as questions we can. Just to also let you know that this webinar is going to be recorded and you can view it later in our website. So let's start with a roundtable introduction where we'll talk about our names, our position, what we do in that position, and how our students, the viewers today, will be benefited from the work that you do. I'll start first, and then I'll go with Kara, and then we'll go with Janelle, and then we'll come back to you, Julie. So my name is Sumit Swami. I'm one of the liaison and recruitment officer here at Northern College. And what we usually do, Kara and I, we both do it, is that we travel around Ontario, we travel around high schools, we do webinars, we do seminars, we do events, and we talk about Northern College and what programs we have to offer. We also talk about the other services that we offer, and I usually take care of the northern part. So if you're living anything north to Huntsville, you are talking to me. And then let's go with Kara, what you do.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Kara McComb and I do the exact same thing as Sumit, but like Sumit said, I take care of the southern region. So if you are below Huntsville, that's me. Maybe you'll see me at your high school, maybe at your library, a community event. And yeah, basically we travel around talking to you guys, guidance, parents, and help to answer any questions that you might have about Northern. So thank you so much for joining us.
And plus also when you're talking, it feels like you're calling from Cuba because of that background. It looks
I'm just on vacation right now, so.
The weather looks better than our weather.
So we'll go with Janelle. Janelle, you work as an employment consultant, right?
So I'm an Employment Services Coordinator at Employment Options Emploi. So thank you, Sumit. My name is Janelle Berthume, and Employment Options is part of Northern College, and we help students and members of our community with employment and training opportunities.
Oh, okay. And let's go to you, Julie.
Hi everyone, I'm Julie Labbe. I'm the admissions officer here at Northern College, so I take care of all of our campuses at Northern. So for me, once you apply with Northern College through Ontario colleges, your applications come to me, and that's when I start reaching out to you guys. If you guys have an offer, if you guys are missing information, anything like that, you'll be hearing from me.
So pretty much students be nice to her because the application goes to her. So I think this webinar will be started with Janelle because you have a presentation for us that will talk about the second career option, and then we will go towards you, Julie, and we have some questions that we sorted out because we are usually asked these questions. This is the most commonly used questions that we get it during our recruitment presentations and travels. So we'll go to that part later on, but we'll start with Janelle, and Janelle will start with the presentation. So take the screen whenever you're ready.
Awesome, thank you. I'm going to be talking about Second Career today. So it is one of the programs that is offered through Employment Options Emploi at Northern College. So if you're laid off or if you're looking for a new career, so Second Career is an Ontario government program that will pay your tuition. So you may qualify for up to $28,000 or more in some cases to pay for tuitions and other associated costs, such as books, living expenses, help caring for dependents, travel and transportation, disability support, and other living and training costs. So Second Career, what is the objective? So it's to provide laid off unemployed individuals with training to help them find employment in occupations with demonstrated labor market prospects in Ontario. So the intention of the Second Career Program is to return individuals to the workforce in the most cost-effective path. So is Second Career right for you? So if you have been laid off from a full-time job in Ontario, if you're currently unemployed, working fewer than 20 hours per week, or simply underemployed, or are you interested in training for a new career in Ontario? So the eligibility criteria for Second Career. So in order to be eligible, you must have been laid off on or after January 1st, 2005. Be unemployed or working in an interim job. So an interim job would be a job of a lower skilled position than the one that you received your layoff from. Be a Canadian citizen or permanent resident legally authorized to work in Canada. And there is a demonstrated occupational demand for the skills training that you're looking at going into with evidence of good employment prospects locally or within Ontario. And with that specifically, that's where we would come in at Employment Options, and we would be able to help you with that. So there's also some suitability indicators. So you would also have to demonstrate certain facts in order to see if you would qualify for funding. So we would have to see how long you've been looking for work, your duration of unemployment, your educational attainment, as well as your work history and others. So what you pay into Second Career. So you would have to pull up all the associated costs that would be covered during training, and you may have to pay a part of the training depending on your gross household income. So that would be your household income before taxes. And that, again, we would assist at Employment Options and let you know if your training would 100% be covered through this fund or if you would have a contribution. So there are a lot of eligible programs for Second Career, and a lot of them are Northern College programs. So Second Career can cover programs that are up to 2 years in duration. So some examples would be business, computer engineering technician, early childhood education, office administration, personal support worker, social service worker, diamond drilling assistant Common Core, underground hard rock miner Common Core, and much more. So at any time you'd be interested in a program, you can connect with someone at Employment Options, and we can let you know if it is a program that is fundable through Second Career. But rule of thumb, it has to be a program that is under 2 years of duration, or up to 2 years. So applying to Second Career. So in order to apply for Second Career, you would work with an employment agency such as Employment Options Emploi, where people are trained to help you decide if this program is right for you. And we are also here to help you in completing your application. So staff at the agency will help you gather all the information that's required and support your application to Second Career. So the next steps, if you are interested in Second Career to see if you would qualify, a member of your family would qualify, you can connect with us at Employment Options. So we do have our number here on the screen. It's 705-268-3033. Or you can contact us via email, through our website, or through Facebook. So we can do an assessment. Right now, all of our services are done virtually, and we are doing services in office by appointment only. We do have other services at Employment Options as well. So this is to anyone of the general public if you're residing in Timmins. So we can help you with resource and information. So we have computers for job search, job boards, fax, printing. We can assist you with your resume, cover letter, and interview preparation, as well as other employability skills through a series of workshops. We also have registered services through employment services that have the same components as resource and information, but we also help people with job match and placement. So we can assist with matching you up with an employer for a job, as well as assist with financial supports for eligible participants. We also have the Canada-Ontario Job Grant, where we work with employers and offer subsidies for them to purchase training for their employees, as well as new hires as well. Supported Employment is a program specifically designed to support those who self-identify as having a disability with returning to the workforce, where we would support from A to Z with the whole transition and assist with job coaches as well while they're at work. And we have our Youth Job Connection and Youth Job Connection summer programs, where youth age 15 to 29 would participate in a series of pre-employment workshops, which are paid at minimum wage. And then we would assist with a job placement with an employer that they would be interested in working with. So those are just some of the programs that we do offer at Employment Options at Northern College, as well as Second Career. If anyone was interested, had questions, we can always assist you with that. You can connect with us at the information on the screen. That's it. I'm not sure if Sumit or Kara, if you have any questions for me.
I don't any questions coming in for now, but just to...
I do have a question, sorry.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask about the funding. Now, is that a grant that they don't have to pay back, or how does that?
Correct. Yeah, it is a grant that they would not have to pay back. So pretty much what we do is we look at all your financials and the cost of the program, and we put all that information in the application, and we're able to let you know if you would have a contribution. So depending on your household income, you may have to pay 10, 20% of the total cost. If you don't have any income coming in, you may qualify for a basic living allowance. So the ministry would cover the cost of training, and they may also cover a small fee or a small cost that they would give you as an allowance, just to assist with small costs. It's definitely not a livable income by any means, but it would help while you're in school to have a bit of money coming in for basic as a basic living allowance.
Awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, go
sorry,
ahead.
one more question. Was just about the location. So let's say a student is interested in going to Kirkland Lake or Haileybury. Would they still reach out to this contact, or is there an alternative contact?
It depends. So it would depend on where they're located. So if you are located in the Timmins area, you can work with the Timmins Employment Options. But if you are located in New Liskeard or in Kirkland Lake, you can work with the employment options there. It doesn't matter where you are applying to. So you could be residing in Timmins, but applying to go to school in Kirkland Lake. So that's not a problem. You can work with the Timmins location. So it will be dependent on where you're residing.
Okay, perfect. That's all the questions, Sumit.
Yes, and I wanted to also add that because I remember when I was in my work permit, I was looking for a job, and this is more for international students who are online today. That when I was looking for a job, I was on my work permit, I didn't have any options. I did went to employment option in Kirkland Lake, and they did help me with my resume building, and they also helped me with the job connection. So they already have a board out there in employment options where it says literally what jobs are out there. So there's a little bit of bifurcation saying that business related jobs are here, trades related jobs are here, let's say healthcare related jobs are here. And then you can choose which jobs you feel like you can apply to and you're eligible, and you tell them and they will apply it for you. And it will sometimes also give you the information who is there, and they give you that help. But it doesn't mean that they will help you with the whole process. They can help you with whatever is out there. So sometimes employers do want the people to apply by themselves, so they can just only give you the email address and stuff like that. So international students who are out there, you can also take help of employment option to get some of the resources. And the domestic students who are out there, you can also, I think, take help for getting a part-time job. Am I correct, Janelle? Or
yeah, so one thing thank you, Sumit, for mentioning that. And one thing that's really great to know is, so pretty much employment options, we see it as an extra tool to use for your job search. So we won't necessarily get the job for you and secure that employment. We can, depending on the circumstances, if you do qualify for job placement incentives, but we're there as a tool, and we're there to assist you with your job search and kind of set you up for that. So some employers connect with us, and you know, they come to us with certain jobs that are not publicly listed. So when we have those opportunities and you work with us, we're able to let you know about those jobs before, but then it would be your responsibility to go and actually apply to that sub job with the employer. And for students, so we can assist with resume, cover letter, and interview tips, but we are not, we can't register students if they are full-time students for some of our services. If you are part-time, you could qualify for some. You can just come see us, and we'll be able to kind of walk you through it and let you know what we're able to help you with.
so my personal suggestion, if you're a newcomer student here, no matter what, domestic or international, the best suggestion to do is at least go out there and talk to these guys once, and they might have something for you for a job, maybe for a resume. Because I remember back home when I used to make a resume, it was completely different attitude that I had, and it was more about showing more than that you did it. It's kind of, refining to a point where it's very sophisticated. But over here, it's a different approach to it. It's becoming more honestly, it's more honesty to it. It's more related to exactly what you did. So I got a lot of help from Employment Option when I was trying to build my resume. And there are certain things that I never knew, because back home, if your resume is 3 pages, it looks absolutely amazing saying that he has so much experience. But over here, it becomes so much longer than that. So that is also one of the things that that works out and that I learned. And to be very honest, Kara also has a background in that too. She helped a lot of international students to get their job, and she's very good when it comes to resume building, because I remember one of those resumes that I sent her, she said, "This is the worst resume I ever saw," and she changed it and she made it so good. And I thought, I can't even think about these words. So it is always to take help from people. And I know back home, it's not advisable for us. And we are always being trained in a way saying, try to get as least as help you can because you are on your own. But again, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to education, you're new here, I would suggest to go ahead and talk to Employment Option, because they have excellent services and everybody out there is perfect. I mean, I remember Janelle and we talked the first time we met in an event, and since then we are just friends now. Hey, Janelle, we sometimes I am traveling and I have a little bit of time and I think if Janelle is there, I'll wait there and I'll talk to her for a bit, have a coffee, and then come back. So the friendliness out there is very, very welcoming. And that is one of the options that I would like to tell you guys, that no matter, go and talk to them, because they will have so much suggestions for you and you might not even think about it. So I think your presentation is pretty much done here, right, Janelle?
One last thing, actually, maybe
sure.
Is if anyone wanted to follow our Facebook pages, Employment Options in Timmins, Kirkland Lake, and New Liskeard, we actually post when we do workshops that are available to anyone. So you don't actually have to be in Timmins or in Canada even to participate in these workshops, but we do resume writing, interview, and all those things. So keep an eye out on our Facebook pages, and you can always jump in and participate in those.
So before we go, and you mentioned workshops, let's talk a little bit about workshop. What kind of workshops are there? And are they for the students? And if they want to take a little bit of help from these workshops, can they?
Yeah, so they are for students. They're for anyone really, but we'll do resume writing, interview, cover letter, job search. So those are the basic ones that we tend to do. We do have a few here and there that are a little bit more specific to anything that's current, like internet safety, how to job search, in these current times, how to do interviews via Zoom. So lots of little things like that we can do. So those are the main ones that we would usually have, and we do advertise them on our Facebook page.
And are they free, or they have to?
They're free. Yeah, they're free.
Okay.
Yeah, and you don't have to be registered. You don't have to be registered as a client. You don't actually have to speak with the consultant prior to that. When they are on our Facebook page, they are open to anyone.
Oh, that's good. So you can also learn how to make resumes and cover letters and how to search a job. Because I think I never knew there is a website called as Indeed that gives you jobs all over the place. I found out almost after a month when I was looking for my job, and then I thought, no doubt I'm not getting any interview because I was not at the right place at all.
Well, I have to tell everyone, look at jobsintimmins.com, I believe it is. Jobs in Timmins is the site to use for Timmins now.
Oh, Jobs in Timmins. I never knew about that too.
There you go. You learned something
new. Perfect. All right. So let's go to you, Julie. We have some questions that will kind of take us towards the January start, and we'll have the conversation about that. So simple and easy. The first question: what programs are offered in January intake? And is it for domestic only? Is it for international? How it's going to work in January?
For January programs, we do have some programs that are offered to domestic and international. So always the business is always open for international, domestic. We have a new program for January. It's called Accommodation and Human Rights Management. This is a post-grad, so you'll require a 2-year diploma for this program. And it's a fully online program, and it's 3 consecutive semesters. That one is only for domestic students right now. We do offer the 2-year law clerk program. This one's fully online, domestic, international as well. General arts. This one starts with a 1-year certificate, and then you can go into the 2-year program. So domestic, international as well. Mineral exploration. This is a 1-year certificate program. So this one is it'll be online for the first semester in January. Not too sure of how it'll work for the second semester. I do believe there's a field school involved with this one as well. For environmental technician and wastewater, that one is domestic international, offering the electrical in Timmins, the electrical technician in Timmins for domestic and international. This one is hybrid, so this one is online and you do have some labs on site here. Computer engineering, that's a 2-year program that'll be offered to domestic, international, fully online first semester in January. And then in Kirkland Lake, we'll be offering the pre-health program. That's a 1-year certificate. So that's for anybody looking to go into maybe nursing or the BSc nursing, anything in the health field where you're missing, your sciences, biology, chemistry. There's also like the math component in there, anything like that. If you're missing any of those, the pre-health program is a good option for you. And then the PSW program in January will be offered through Kirkland Lake, but the first semester online. Can't say much for the second semester yet, as we're kind of going day by day with all this, but as of right now, everything will be online for those programs. That's about it for programs in January.
Yes, that's fine. And so I was also thinking about it because we were going to talk about a little bit about the delivery option, how they're going to be delivered, but you did talk about it, and it is going to be mostly online. And it is going to be hybrid for the program, what they need a lab in. So if it's a lab requirement, then it becomes hybrid, or if there is completely lab oriented, then it becomes essential and the students come in and with social distancing, they finish their program like that.
Exactly. So they'll be provided the PPE, all the social distancing. So pretty much the only one right now where it would be hybrid would be the electrical and the environmental tech program. So you move here, or if you're from out of town. So.
Okay.
So these are good January options as well for those who decided not to go away in September, thinking that they weren't sure about online learning, kind of thought about it a little bit more, and they can apply for January to these programs. And if anybody's missing any, if they're not sure if they qualify for these programs, they can definitely reach out to me. I can have a look at their educational documents or transcripts or any post-secondary transcripts that they have. I can let you guys know if you guys qualify for these programs. If not, we do have mature learners, people who don't meet the requirements. We have testing, we have academic upgrading to help students, get to these sciences, math, English, to get into these programs. So definitely available to chat about that as well.
So we will go on that testing option a little bit later because I think there is a question about it. But before we go there, what are the admissions required for this program? So what exactly they need to get into the program? And I would there is domestic aspect too, but there are some international too. And I remember that international students do have their English proficiency that needs to be done. And it's usually 6 bands and above individually or overall. But however, when the admission requirements comes in with math or biology or things like that, what are the scores that are needed?
So for that one with international, I only do domestic admissions right now. So I don't know what the requirements are, but we can definitely send the international email at the end of this webinar, and they can email the international department to see if they would meet those.
And for domestic?
So like I said, for the admission requirements for domestic students, all programs require a grade 12 English at the college level. Most programs, the business is a grade 11 math. College level, your tech programs like the electrical, mineral exploration, environmental tech, computer engineering, those are grade 12 math. That one is, if you're doing the college level math in high school, you'll need a 60% and over. And if you're doing the university stream, it's 50% and over. Pre-health, PSW, the pre-health is a grade 12 grade 12 English, grade 11 math. PSW is a grade 12 English. So like I said, those ones are pretty much math, English, but anybody looking to go into more of the healthcare field, you'd need your biology, your chemistry for, later on in September, vet tech programs, nursing programs, anything like that.
Okay. So, and that would be that would be for domestic. For international students, again, she is only domestic admissions officer. So if you have any specific questions about the program that you just heard, you can always email us at international@northern.on.ca. Kara would be writing that email in the chat option pretty soon. So you have that email address. Send an email. It usually takes us 2 or 3 days to process it because we are so much behind with international emails. We get almost 300, 400 emails per day. So it's always like 2 or 3 days behind. So if you're sending an email on Monday, expect an answer on Thursday because that's how the time frame is for us right now. So let's go back to you, Julie, and let's talk about that CAT testing that you said a little bit about in our question number 2. What is CAT testing, and explain how it pertains to our mature learners who are trying to get into the programs?
All right, so sometimes in high school you didn't take that grade 12 math, or that grade 11 math, or sometimes people who went to like a French high school don't have that grade 12 English. So as long as you're 19 years of age, you can come in if you're missing any of those, the math, English, and it's called a pre-admission test. So you can take this testing. You do have, I believe, 2 tries at this testing. And when you do reach out to take this testing, they can provide you some information on where to go study a little bit on this testing.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody can come in. It's free of charge to take those testings.
And let's ask the most important question that is just out there. I kept it for the last because we wanted to go at the last, and because it will answer a lot of questions. What kind of funding is available for the students who are coming in January? Let's start with domestic a little bit, and for international, we have a little bit answer too. But then from there, I'll also go towards Kara because Kara has something to talk about when it comes to funding too. Am I correct?
Yeah, so actually I'll talk about the funding.
Okay.
But first off, I just wanted to say how important it is for everyone to realize that you don't have to wait until September to go back to school if you're wanting to go to school. I think the biggest thing we want to stress is there are options available to you this January. There is also quite a bit of funding available to you, and I wanted to highlight a few of those. So Northern, I think this is the 3rd year that we've done this now, or maybe the 2nd year now, that we are offering an entrance bursary to every student, $1,000 for every student that goes into a 2-year or 3-year diploma, as well as our degree program. And that's really cool because it's an automatic bursary that you qualify for, and it will go towards your 2nd semester of your program. So that's really cool because you don't need to fill out anything. It's kind of an automatic bursary that happens. And it's $1,000. I mean, who wouldn't want $1,000? So that's the first one. And you are eligible up until November 15th to qualify for that. So really important that if you are interested, you have just over a month to make that decision and get into those programs. And then for those students that are interested in our PSW program, we have a $500 bursary available to you for that. So if you are interested, I mean, there's lots of money available like we had talked about. And we actually did a webinar, last week? No, week before?
Yes. It was almost like 2 weeks before.
2 weeks, maybe?
Yes.
Which was all about funding, OSAP,
bursaries,
everything money related with the college that I would suggest that you take a listen to. That can be found on our website. And there's lots of information about additional money that's available to you. So, yeah.
Can I just add something?
For sure.
Sure.
So I just want to talk a little bit about the January programs. Most of them are OSAP eligible. So you can, if you just Google OSAP estimator, you can kind of go there and see what kind of funding you can get. And it's free to make an application with OSAP as well. And OSAP has a grant portion and a loan portion. So you don't even have to take the loan, you can take the grant portion as well. So I tell everybody who comes through here, just apply, you never know.
Yeah, I would second that. The nice thing, like people don't realize, you just apply, there's no harm in applying. And if you don't want to take the loan, don't take the loan. But if you get free money, I mean, take it. Why not?
Okay. And then you can go to Cuba like Kara is right now.
Yeah, you could just be here. Why not?
And I just wanted to touch a little bit about international students when it comes to those kind of resources. We are working on it for now. There are exciting things coming up. The next two webinars that are going to come in next weeks are going to talk about that a little bit more too. So we have those options coming up. For now, this is for domestic students. With international students, it becomes a little bit tricky for us to design that kind of bursaries because it is international. You are just landing here. You're not part of Ontario or Canada until this point. But there are so many ways that we can do it, and we are working on it. So once we have that declared, we'll for sure have a webinar about it and share with you guys that exactly what is coming up. But I think that kind of gives us a time a little bit to open up for questions. So if you guys have any questions to maybe Janelle or Julie or maybe Kara or I, anything, we'll have some time for you to ask questions, and from there we'll go forward after that.
I just wanted to piggyback off you, Sumit, for a second there
Sure.
about international funding. It is in the works, as Sumit said, so be sure to look at our website, follow us on social media, because it is definitely something that's coming down the pipeline. Just we don't know when, so keep an eye out for that.
And also, I just wanted to add for January classes, they start Monday, January 11th.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't see any questions coming in right now.
Anything, Julie or Janelle, that you would like to add up before we conclude the webinar today?
Nope, just for me, thank you for letting me attend. And again, if there's anyone that has any questions about our services or how we can help you, feel free to reach out. If we can't offer the service, we'll make sure to point you in the right direction. So
For sure. And if you would like to type in your email address in the chat box so that the students have that email address and they can reach you afterwards too if they don't have any questions right now, but maybe they think about a question 2 days later or whenever they're watching online.
perfect.
I'll add my email address as well. So
Perfect.
if there's any more questions, or you're not sure if you meet requirements for school, or not sure what you want to attend, I mean, just send me an email and we can work from there.
For sure. All right, so I think this is a good time for us to conclude the webinar today. There are no questions out there. So thank you, Janelle. Thank you, Julie. It was always a pleasure to talk to you guys. A lot of questions were answered. A lot of information was given out. I had no idea that there was a website called Jaws in Timmins. I never knew before this webinar. So I would for sure also, refer that to people who are looking for jobs in Timmins, and I will let them know to go to Employment Options Way to at least get something out of it. And thank you, Julie, for all the information that is coming out and all the programs that are coming out. So it was really helpful. And you can always book an individual appointment with us, either me or Kara. Through our virtual appointment tool on the website, we can do FaceTime, we can do Zoom, we can do Teams, we can do whatever you like.
Anything.
We are fully loaded now. You say we want to meet here and we will be there. We are ready. We are so ready for this. So again, before we go, I would like to give a suggestion is that the second wave is coming out. The numbers are increasing. Stay safe. Please follow social distancing. It does look normal right now, but it's getting a little bit bad out there. So please make sure you have your mask, you're sanitizing, you're keeping safe. And we will see you next week again from 1 to 2 on our next week's webinar. We'll declare that on website maybe pretty soon within 1 or 2 next working days. Stay safe, stay connected. Have a good evening.